What's good, old Tom?
Roscoe, what's going on, baby?
I don't know it. You trying to get a couple of dollars today?
You know it. Need to shop clean?
No, not really. Was hoping you'd tell me another one of them stories you be coming up with. I got 500 for you. I'm gonna need the best one you got.
500? Man, I don't need all that, but I tell you the best one I got. I'm gonna tell you the story of the second coming of Jordan and Kobe.
Oh, hell nah.
Oh, yes, sir. It's gonna be a good one. You ready? Now, this story is about a forgotten hero to some and just a low life to others. And it all started in a small town along the coast. Jalen Johnson, a young man that was going places, decent parents, hard workers, and they were trying their best to put their 10-year-old boy, Jalen Johnson, in the best position of his life. Well, that all came crashing down one day, literally, when Jalen's parents were both killed in a freak accident. Now, this was a big deal because somehow, some way, Jalen had no other relatives, nowhere to go, which meant young Jalen was sent off to the orphanage. He spent a lot of time at the orphanage, in and out. Families only adopted him just to collect a check. Never really cared for the boy. By the age of 13, he was sent to live in a group home. But by this time, JJ had fallen into the wrong crowd. He was a big thug on the streets, running with other orphans and those who felt lost in the world. And they would often kick doors to make some extra cash. Well, the group home stopped caring for him. And for whatever reason, the system thought it would be best to put him in the transitional housing. That's when life really started to change for JJ. But it might have been a little too late. One of the OGs from the neighborhood who had been through the system himself, Coach Rob, had started a foundation for boys who were going through similar life experiences and decided to give JJ a chance. But the rules were clear. No robbing, no gang activity, all of that. And in return, Coach Rob was going to support JJ in whatever he wanted to do. And at the time, JJ was heavy into sports. When you know it, JJ was a damn good athlete. Football, baseball, soccer, hell, even tennis and golf. Wasn't much JJ couldn't do, but he shined the best on that court. Coach Rob saw a lot of himself in JJ, and over the next 4 years, he made JJ a dog. Took him to Vegas every summer to play in tournaments, even the EYBL. And the summer before JJ's senior year in high school, that's when he was about to put the world on notice. But all wasn't good. You see, although Coach Rob was helping out during the day, JJ still had to maintain at night, and that's where that double life came into play. Although the rules were clear, he still needed to eat every day, and he just couldn't walk away from the game. You know, it's blood in, blood out. So to make sure everything was good, JJ still went out at night, robbing what he could, kicking doors when he could, just to make sure he could eat, and everything was going perfect for him. Now, on the court, he was an animal, like I said. The first EYBL game of the summer out in Vegas, and his first 2 points was downhill, hitting a spin at the rim and a reverse dunk. Look at my phone. You see what I'm talking about? That boy was good. Look at this. Behind the back, getting to his spot for the fadeaway. That's a bucket. Got him with the pump fake, take a second and attack that rim with one hand, and he makes it look easy. Even on defense, it's a lockup. Took the ball right off of him. And you'll never believe this, but a 360 on the break. Oh my God. Teammates get a steal, another 360 dunk, and at that moment, JJ was on top of the world. You couldn't tell him nothing. Calling for the ISO. Easy blow by for the tough lay. The boy was damn near unguardable. Then again, just overpowering the defenders this time. No layup, straight to the rim for a nasty poster. They thought JJ couldn't shoot, but Peter stopped. Take his time and cash out the three-pointer. They still doubted him, giving him too much space for another big shot to tie the game up. The team is still down by 3, moving without the ball, getting the back door for the easy tap in, extending the lead late in the game. That's when he tapped into that assassin mentality, the pull back to the three-pointer, and you know it's wet. Throwing up the bees to the crowd. Just coming downhill again, too strong for these high schoolers, and he just rises up for the dunk like the boy wasn't even near. Last thing you want to do is press JJ, because it's always going to end with him scoring the ball. And you can see how excited he was, because that day, the mission really started for JJ. And that was the moment everyone realized he could play at the next level and really make some money, especially with how the NIL deals was working. All he saw was dollar signs. But the team headed to the EYBL tournament where a lot of scouts could get a good look at him, and he started off with a step back three. The way he floated in the air is why they started calling him the next coming to Jordan. Look at how he just up there making that layup. Oh, and I forgot, look at the cradle dunk. You know, this bring back memories of MJ, Dominique, all of them. Tough tape right here, finding a way to the basket for a tough layup, and he's playing way above his expected level right now, and that's exactly what he needed to do. Screen leaves him open for the three and it falls for him. They still don't believe in his shot. But that's the crazy thing. They didn't have to believe in his shot because taking folks to the rim was his favorite thing to do, and he made it look easy. But if you ask him today, his favorite thing before that was the back down fadeaway that he perfected over the years hanging with Coach Rob. And even after all that, they still would go under the screens, leaving him wide open for the three. And with that much time and space, it was going to drop. Tie game, and this is what made him who he is. One move, get into a spot, and a fader makes the shot impossible to contest, and that's a huge bucket to get the lead late in this game. Now it's tied, and the Vegas boys needed something to boost their energy. And of course, here he come with a poster to put this game out of reach, and the fans were buzzing after this one. JJ had just stamped his name as one of the senior scouts needed to have on their radar. But the competition was just heating up. Now, it's a different EYBL gym, same energy though. One quick move and it's an attack on the rim. Never took a moment for granted. If he's open, he's going to take the shot. Cashing in a three-pointer, first one of the game. Behind the back, just sizing up the guy in front of him, getting to the shoulder for the fader, and it's in. Scoring 7 of the 9 points. Fast break. I'm not sure what this kid was thinking, but he tried to jump with him and ended up getting bodied. Even though it's early in the game, AJ knows the guy guarding him can't stick with him. And that's something that assassins should know about you in the first quarter. I mean, it was getting ugly. Sizing him up, looking him dead in the eyes, then flying past him for the easy lay. Scouts were drooling. Even standing in the corner, they don't believe in the shot. But as soon as it goes up, you could tell it was going to drop. And the celebrations were sure signs that JJ was still in them streets. He couldn't shake it. He loved that mid-range though, making it seem as if he was going to attack the rim, but he spins back, losing his defender for the fade, and it's nothing but net. Again, mean fade game, making the shoulders shake for another fade, and it's the bottom of the net for the shot. Them boys was trying to show off and save face, but it was a bad idea. They needed to find a way to slow down JJ, but it's too late. Rising up for the alley on the transition, but the game was being stolen because Coach Rob was wanting to let some of the other players get some burn, which turned into an 8-point deficit. The starters are back in and are trying their best to make this a game. 3 off the screen, but it actually falls. 64-69, grown man tape right here, and it's right through the net, making it a 2-point game. Now, Coach Rob, he drew up a quick play for JJ to score out the corner, and luckily, he cashed it. But the time had ran out, and that was game. The first loss for the Vegas boys, and this was the beginning of a rocky time between JJ and Coach Rob. You see, JJ wanted to make sure he could secure a school that was interested as soon as possible, so he knew where he was going once he was done with school. He was more interested in that money more than anything, and you could tell by the way he was willing to take any shot to make sure the team was staying close in the game. Demanding the ball, finding a way to get his spot for that fader, and his confidence was just like you knew it was going in, and sure enough, it went in 9 times out of 10. And the more scouts he heard was coming out, the more he tried his best to show out. Crazy layup that goes in and everyone was in awe. Calling for the backdoor screen. Even this was crazy. No need to do it, but he just wanted to do it. And the way he handled the rock was what all the guards wish for at his age. Finishing at the rim with grace. It was light work. Taking his time with the rock, getting to that free throw line for the jumper. And it was no need to contest it by now. It was going to drop. Defense was no issue as well. Getting the block, going on the break, and bro might as well step to the side because nothing was on his mind but dunking. Screen for the lob, taking it out on the defenders for the emphatic dunk. They needed a timeout after that one, and JJ just took the time to let the gym know he was here for a reason. And he was really like that if they didn't know already. Crazy thing is, even after all that, Vegas was still losing the game, but that didn't stop him from throwing up that jumper. Screen right into the three-pointer was starting to become a habit for the squad, and this one fell for him as well. Down by 4, he broke down this defender and went straight into the fade, and it went in. Like I'm telling you, Roscoe, any open opportunity, he was going to take the shot. The Vegas boys couldn't play defense to save their lives, but that 3 ball was going to fall, and JJ was going to throw them bees up. Right after that, the screen to the 3 falls for the squad, and now it's a 1-point game. Time is winding down. JJ has the ball in his hands, and it's looking as if the game is about to be over, and he's the hero, but I guess he slipped on something. To this day, no one knows what he slipped on or what happened, but the refs didn't call a foul. It was just a turnover, and the team was headed to OT when the game could have been won right then. But that's something that would always be talked about when anyone mentions Jalen Johnson, because in OT, he was still putting up numbers. Down by 3 with about 20 seconds left, he ties the game up with a solid 3. And you know the first thing he did? He threw up them B's. Your man was in too deep, and nobody could see the signs but Coach Rob. Everybody else was just thinking he was throwing up the 3, but it was much deeper than that. But who was really gonna say anything when you come out of timeout with a game on the line to tie it up and you cash out from the corner like it's nothing? Who was really gonna check him and put him in his place? But the team didn't have the same drive that he had, and it shows, giving up a wide open 3 for the game, and it was nothing but net. That game right there really broke JJ down, and the moral of the team really suffered, because from that point on, JJ had made up in his mind that he was playing for himself. He was going to get that NIL bag no matter what. And this is where that villain arc starts to happen. If the team couldn't score, he felt as if he had to do it all. Get into the rim, tough late. It was what it was. His teenage years was all about getting it out the mud. This was nothing new to him. He knew what he was great at, and he was going to get his shot more times than not. His defense was unmatched, just too strong for the kids, bullying the ball away on one end, and then initiating the contact on the other end for the lay. Not even waiting for the ball to get up the court, calling for the screen, walking into the shot, and it's nothing but net. No matter what they did, they couldn't stop him on any parts of the court, especially at the rim. When the screen comes, they don't know whether to run him off the 3 or let him have it, because the jumper was victim to foul as well. And I told you, his defense was like that, just taking the ball right out of the air for the easy dunk on the other end. Screen, 3 ball. What else do I need to say to you, Roscoe? He knew he was like that, and at any moment he could go crazy, rejecting the screen, which leads to him getting on that rim and catching the body, locked in. Don't describe what was happening in that moment. Screen again. I guess he was tired of shooting the 3 because he got to that mid-range, and now Vegas was down 1 point. Timeout, trying to keep him under control, but right back at it. The fast break looked too good to pass up on a 360 dunk, and he took full advantage of it. But yet and still, Vegas couldn't close out a game no matter how many points he put up, and the game was just too far out of reach. And it's another loss for the guys, but a great performance by the one-man band. Now, after losing the EYBL tournament, the boys went back to Vegas to play some more, and although JJ was on a mission, the team was ready to give up. You could tell by the score, he was the only one scoring, but you could also see he was enjoying himself, making the game come easy, kissing the shot off the glass. Not even paying attention to the score at this point, playing around behind the screen, getting to the free throw line, putting the shot up. He learned quickly that AAU is nothing but a show off to the scouts, and he wanted to make sure he was the one everyone talked about when they were leaving the gym. And how could he not be when he's putting up shots like this? Time after time, getting to the rim on bigger plays with finesse, but he knew how to attack bigger players that was slower than him. And don't get it twisted, because those same big players, he would body up and have the strength to keep his body balanced to make a tough lay. I mean, taking the ball right off a player that shouldn't be dribbling in front of him, coming up with the ball, and you should already know what's going to happen next. 360 behind the back had the whole gym shocked that he would pull something off like that in such a close game. The decision to do that would turn some scouts off to him, and this is how you know he was out there just having fun. Fadeaway 3 out the corner, nothing but net. This was different. One dribble, too fast, to the lane, easy dunk. Team gets a rebound, calling for the ball at the top of the key. It was as if the defender didn't exist. Even if it was contested, I think he still would have made the shot the same way he did. Tie game. Down by 4, you know he's calling for the screen. Got his feet set quickly and throws one up that surprisingly goes in, and it might be some life left in these Vegas boys, but time was just not on their side. With 20 seconds left in the game, JJ makes it a 2-point game with a 3 out the corner. Even a big last second that rolls in didn't make a huge difference when the team really didn't have his back too much in that game. And that was the end of the AAU summer season for JJ, because he felt as if he did what he needed to do to secure enough eyes going into his senior year of school. Now, I told you about his background, his life on the streets, even showed you his game on the court. But I still haven't told you his biggest problem.
Wait, he had more problems than that?
Oh yeah, And the problems were just getting started for him, to be real with you. Now, his biggest problem was girls. He loved talking to girls, being around girls, being inside girls. It was bad. And because he didn't really have anybody to tell him what to do, besides the streets, he did what he wanted majority of the time. If he wasn't on the court, he was in some girl's face. Now, there was one girl in particular that he wanted real bad, and she wasn't going for it. Preacher's daughter. But he had his eyes set on her. He did everything he could to get with her, but she had heard the rumors about him from other church girls, and she just didn't want to be another one. For whatever reason, he decided to cut off all the other girls he was talking to. He even showed up to church in a suit for this girl, and she went for it. But all he wanted to do was chase her. He just wanted to experience her, and he did. I mean, they both did. A lot. Which leads us to the moment we all knew was going to happen. Preacher's daughter had something to tell JJ that was going to make or break him. The preacher's daughter was pregnant.